after Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on Thursday directed the Bengaluru Metro Rail Corporation Limited or BMRCL's Managing Director Maheshwar Rao to roll back the fare increases where they are abnormal, he emphasized the need to protect commuters' interests. Meanwhile, Maheshwar Rao has clarified that there will be no change in the metro fares. Only anomalies and technical snags that has resulted in fare hikes will be rectified. There will be no change in the minimum fare of 10 rupees and the maximum fare of 90 rupees. Only the increase in fare between stages is revised. Now let's take a look at the new fare structure. The minimum fare for metro will be 10 rupees and the maximum will be 90, as we told you. Earlier, the maximum fare was 60 rupees. There will be a 5% discount with the smart card. An extra 5% discount will be given for off-peak hours, that is before 8 a.m., 12 to 4 p.m. and after 9 p.m. on weekdays. Sundays and holidays, discount will be 10%. One-day tourist passes will be charged at 300 rupees, 3-day at 600 rupees and 5-day at 800 rupees. Group discounts will be around 15 to 25%. Meanwhile, Bengaluru's Namma Metro ridership dropped sharply after the rise in the metro fare prices. On Tuesday, 7.8 lakh people took a metro ride as against 8.6 lakh on the 4th of February, while on Monday, the metro took around 8.3 lakh people, down from 40,000 in the previous Monday. Regular passengers alleged that they are ending up paying double the fare and they are not able to afford it. So they are opting for BMTC buses or private vehicles. While Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has asked for a revision in the abnormal hike in fares, the Managing Director of Bengaluru Namma Metro, Maheshwar Rao, has said that there will be no rollback in the fare increases. We have my colleague Mohammad Wajula now joining us live from Bengaluru for more. Wajji, talk to us. So the crowds in Bengaluru Metro, Namma Metro are thinning out. But there seems to be a divergence over here. You have the Chief Minister saying that there has to be a rollback where there is an abnormal hike in fares, whereas the Managing Director of the Bengaluru Metro is saying there will be no such thing.
Well, yes, Krishna, we've just walked out of the press conference that was held by Maheshwar Rao, the chairman of the BMRCL, and he categorically mentioned that we were told by the Chief Minister that there were a lot of anomalies in the fare and that would be revised. So what he clarified today is that there were close to 600 to 700 instances where complaints had come to the BMRCL saying that fares which were supposed to be 30 rupees, 40 rupees, even after the increase have jumped up by 80 to 90% and at some places more than 100%. So these rectifications have been done, but when it comes to the prices of metro, that has not been reduced. So minimum will continue to be 10 rupees, which has been there before the recent price hike, while the maximum, which was 60 rupees before the metro price hike, had been 90, and today after the press conference also it will continue to remain 90s. It was only at the various points where or at various structures where the amount would jump up by 45% to 100%. For instance, if you're traveling from one point to another where the charges is 20 rupees, at these places the passengers were shelling out 55 rupees or 60 rupees where the increase is of 100% or 80%. Those anomalies and those technical snags will be rectified. They will make sure that the cap will come down from 100% to 70%. So they are planning to maintain that 70% hike cap, whereas the hike will be of 30 to 35% between that amount itself. So what we are going to pay as 60 rupees for a maximum length of 25 kilometers will be 90 rupees and it will continue to remain 90 rupees. So this is not somewhere is a relief. This is not going to be a relief for the people who are still going to shell out 90 rupees from their pockets.
That is the reason why you're seeing the number of people taking the metro going down significantly on a day-to-day basis. Are the metros now not as packed as they were before? If you can tell us if you've taken the metro.
Yes, this question was also asked to the BMRCL chairman, and he categorically ducked it. We asked him if you could give us the revenues that BMRCL had in the last 3 days. But what he could give us in this question is that they have seen an 8% dip in the metro usage by commuters. And now with this increase of 90 rupees, because we have done reports from metro station where we've spoken to various people, and their only complaint is if I am shelling out 90 rupees to go from one place to another, then I have to take a metro to go to that specific place where I'm going to. Instead of that, I can fill a petrol for 1 litre, which is costing me 100 rupees, and I might use my vehicle instead. Why would I take a metro? The reason why we were taking metro, because it would make travel faster, it would make cheaper. But now, if it's going to be as expensive as traveling on the road, I might get stuck in traffic. But at least I might not spend as much I'm spending on the metro. So these were the problems that the people were facing. And now with the commuters coming down by 8%, this is something like the BMRCL should now look into. It was a very heated press conference. The officials seemed confused about the tariff rates. We still don't have the structural rates on how much increase has happened from 0 to 2 kilometers. Because with the anomalies that have been revised, how will those structures change? That also has to be given to us so that we can give it to the public. So these are a few things that the BMRCL have not been able to answer. What they've able to clarify is that there will not be any revision in the price hike. Those anomalies, those problems, those technical snags that people have been facing, that will be rectified.
Anomalies will be rectified, no revision or no reduction in the fare hikes in Bengaluru's Namma Metro. Vajjiula, they're getting us the latest on that. Vajji, thank you so much for joining us with that update. The budget session resumed in the Rajya Sabha amidst a ruckus by opposition MPs over the Joint Parliamentary Committee's report on the Waqf Amendment Bill. As soon as Medha Vishram Kulkarni, the BJP MP from Maharashtra, laid the report of the committee, there was commotion and the upper house was adjourned for a while. As soon as proceedings began, Mallikarjun Kharge, leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, claimed that the dissent remarks had been deleted from the JPC report on the Waqf bill, calling it farzi, condemnable and anti-democratic. Mallikarjun Kharge urged Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar to reject the report and send it back.
अनेक सदस्यों ने अपना डिसेंट नोट दिया है। वो नोट देने के बावजूद भी प्रोसीडिंग से निकालना और उन मेजॉरिटी मेंबर्स के व्यूज सिर्फ उसमें रखकर बुलडोज करना ये ठीक नहीं है, ये कंडेमेबल है और एंटी डेमोक्रेसिक है, एंटी प्रोसीजर है। और दूसरी चीज नॉन स्टेक होल्डर्स बाहर से बुला के उनको जो होना, उन लोगों को खड़ा करके उनका स्टेटमेंट ले रहे। और जो इतने लोग पार्लियामेंट में जो भी डिसेंट नोट दिए हैं, क्या उसमें कोई एक पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है, कोई जानता नहीं है और वक्फ बोर्ड एक्ट को कोई पढ़ा नहीं है? मेरे को बड़ा ताजुब लग रहा है। अरे आपको अगर कुछ करना भी है तो आप डिसेंट नोट के व्यूज को प्रिंट करके या अपने रिपोर्ट में डाल के बोलना चाहिए, उसके बजाय उसको डिलीट करके अगर कोई रिपोर्ट होती है मैं उसको कंडेम करता हूं। और ऐसे फर्जी रिपोर्ट को हम कभी नहीं मानेंगे, सदन कभी नहीं मानेगा। और जब प्रोसीजर फॉलो नहीं होती, वो पार्ट ऑफ इस हाउस का विभाग नहीं बन सकता। तो इसीलिए मैं आपसे विनती कर रहा हूं कि उनको डायरेक्शन दीजिए, जो भी रिपोर्ट आई है वो अगर वो रिपोर्ट में डिसेंट व्यूज नहीं है तो उसको वापस भेजिए, निकाल दीजिए।
In response, Vice President and Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankhar questioned the behavior of the protesting MPs in the House.
You have been here enough. Do you want me to take ultimate action? Take your seat. You are forcing me. You are not only forcing, the consequences are severe. Please, take your time. Persuade him. Someone should persuade him. persuading. I get your point. I hereby name, I'm about to name all of you. I think good sense should prevail. Listen to leader of the opposition. Thank you, sir. I'm grateful to the leader of the opposition. Yes.
Now, Kiren Rijiju also rejected these allegations, calling them false and misleading, and accused the opposition of attempting to mislead the House.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, मैंने बाहर में कंफर्म किया, चेयरमैन साहब से भी मैंने अभी भी कंफर्म किया, सेक्रेटरिएट से रूल के मुताबिक जेपीसी रिपोर्ट पूरा का पूरा प्लस एनेक्शियर को भी कोई बिना संशोधन के काटा काटी नहीं करके टेबल किया गया है, ये क्लियर है। उसके बाद भी अगर इन लोगों का कुछ शिकायत है तो ये कोई तरीका नहीं होता यहाँ में हंगामा करके। आज तो चर्चा का विषय नहीं है सब, आज तो रिपोर्ट को हम लोग को अध्ययन करने का एक जरिया होता है, वो जो सिस्टम ये कैसे कह सकते हैं कि ये काट दिया है, ऑन व्हाट बेसिस? एविडेंस तो रखी जाती है।
Honorable members,
who will take the responsibility? कहा कि जेपीसी में अच्छा से विटनेस लोगों को सुनवाई नहीं हुआ और कहा गया कि और टाइम देना चाहिए था। मैं आज जिम्मेदारी के साथ कह रहा हूं, ये मेंबर सब सुन रहे हैं, जितना जेपीसी बिल पे काम किया आज तो कोई जेपीसी ने उतना काम नहीं किया।
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman introduced the Income Tax Bill 2025 in the Lok Sabha today. The new bill, spanning 622 pages, aims to replace complex terminology with more straightforward language. Terms like assessment year and previous year will now be replaced with tax year. However, it does not introduce new taxes. The bill increases tax exemptions with income up to 12 lakh, now tax-free. Revised tax slabs are expected to boost savings and spending. Another major reform is the taxation of virtual digital assets like cryptocurrency. The bill explicitly defines virtual digital asset and electronic mode, ensuring a structured tax framework for digital transactions. For non-profits, stricter compliance rules have been introduced, clarifying taxable income and commercial activity restrictions. The bill also consolidates deductions, supporting startups, digital businesses and renewable energy investments. Moving the bill in the Lok Sabha, the Finance Minister urged Speaker Om Birla to refer it to a select committee which will submit its report in the next session. The Speaker will decide on the panel's composition and rules. Opposition members were against the bill at the introduction stage, but the House passed a motion by voice vote for its introduction.
आप मोशन लाएं, माननीय मंत्री जी, मोशन ले आए। सर, प्रश्न मैं पढ़ता हूं, फिर इसका मोशन लाना। प्रश्न ये है कि विधेयक को पूरा स्थापित करने की अनुमति प्रदान की जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में माननीय मंत्री विधेयक को पूरा। आप किस पे ना कर रहे हैं आपको पता नहीं है, आप बाहर चले गए थे। चलो माननीय मंत्री जी।
सर, I want to say, sir, that I'm moving a motion. With your permission, sir, I rise to move that the House agrees to authorize Honorable Speaker yourself, sir, to constitute a select committee of this House on the Income Tax Bill 2025. The terms and conditions regarding the committee will also be decided by the Honorable Speaker. The committee shall make a report by the first day of the next session. I move this
एक बार बिल को इंट्रोड्यूस कर दें।
Okay,
बिल को इंट्रोड्यूस कर दें।
So I introduce the bill.
प्रश्न ये है कि माननीय मंत्री जी द्वारा प्रस्तुत प्रस्ताव को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य प्रस्ताव के पक्ष में वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य प्रस्ताव के पक्ष में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में प्रस्ताव स्वीकृत हुआ।
In the latest, stand-up comedian Samay Raina has been summoned once again by the Maharashtra Cyber Cell in connection with the ongoing controversy surrounding his YouTube show, India's Got Latent. Officials confirm that Raina has requested more time to respond to the summons as he is scheduled to return from the US by the third week of March. According to reports, Assam police has issued summons to YouTubers and influencers involved in the show. Ranveer Allahabadia, Ashish Chanchlani, Jaspreet Singh, Apurva Makhija and Samay Raina have all been named in the investigation with official confirmations from Assam police regarding the issuance of summons. Meanwhile, Oscar-winning composer A.R. Rahman appears to have taken a veiled dig at the entire controversy, leaving many surprised. During a recent promotional event for the Hindi movie Chhawa, A.R. Rahman was asked by Vicky Kaushal to describe his music using 3 emojis. Rahman initially responded with mouth closed. However, he then followed up with a cryptic remark that seemed to reference the ongoing controversy surrounding India's Got Talent.
How, if you had to describe your music in 3 emojis, you'll have to be lazy for a minute now, but just with 3 emojis, if you had to describe your music.
One with the mouth closed. I think last week we've seen what all happened when both opens.
Talk about roasting. And the second would be, sir?
All 3. 1, 2, 3.
All 3 is just mouth closed.
Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai took a swipe at actor turned politician Vijay over his understanding of the budget. He says that Vijay doesn't know the difference between a GST council meeting and a union budget. Annamalai quipped that Vijay seemed to think that the budget was an opportunity to discuss GST rates, which demonstrated a lack of understanding about the budget scope in the first place.
ஒரு புதிதாக கட்சி ஆரம்பிக்கக்கூடிய தலைவர் ஒருத்தர் சொல்றாரு, இந்த பட்ஜெட்டை பார்த்தேன், வழக்கம் போல மத்திய அரசு தமிழக மக்களை வஞ்சிச்சிருக்கிறாங்க. ஒரு புதிதாக கட்சி ஆரம்பிச்ச தலைவர் சொல்றார், ஏன்னா ஜிஎஸ்டி குறைப்பு பத்தி இந்த பட்ஜெட்ல ஒண்ணுமே காணாமே. அண்ணே அது ஜிஎஸ்டி கவுன்சில் மீட்டிங்னே, அது பட்ஜெட்னே, யாராவது தயவு செஞ்சு கூட 2 பேர்த்த உட்கார வச்சு சரியா சொல்லி கொடுக்க சொல்லுங்க. ஜிஎஸ்டி கவுன்சில் மீட்டிங் என்ன, பட்ஜெட் என்ன, இரண்டும் இவங்கெல்லாம் தமிழகத்துல மாற்றத்தை கொடுக்க போறோம்னு கிளம்பி வந்திருக்கிறாங்க.
This is not the first time that the BJP state president of Tamil Nadu, Annamalai, has mocked or made fun of TVK chief Tadapati Vijay there. So Annamalai, last night he was addressing a pro-budget meeting in Thiruvanmiyur, and this is where he was basically talking to the BJP's cadre, and he was speaking to them about the participation and gathering without expecting any financial gain as such. Now, while speaking at this event, Annamalai went on to humorously remark that Vijay seemed to believe the budget was the right forum to discuss GST rates, and this basically said that this highlighted clear lack of comprehension of budget scope for Vijay is what he said. And Annamalai also mocked TVK chief in another aspect as well for introduction of a children's wing under TVK party's umbrella. Yeah, and where basically he went on to say that this suggests that the party members of Vijay's party are akin to children. So 2 jibes is what Annamalai has taken against Vijay here. Now this jab comes in the context of TVK's recent announcement as well, where they have announced the children's wing. But particularly regarding the budget as well, this is something that Annamalai has been doing, that he says that TVK chief is still an amateur in politics. He's still not well versed in politics enough to make a dent in this, and he's not sparing any jibes to ensure that he puts this point across. And with this statement as well, he's making his intent very clear. But this also ensures that with 2026 assembly elections just around the corner, just a little over a year away, that there may not be any alliance with the BJP and the TVK if he continues to take this kind of jibes as well. So very interesting development that's happened here in Tamil Nadu here.
Keeping it with Tamil Nadu, Chennai City's North Zone Traffic Police Joint Commissioner D. Magesh Kumar, an IPS officer, has been suspended following a sexual harassment complaint filed against him by a female traffic constable. The incident has sent shockwaves through the police department, leading Tamil Nadu DGP Shankar Jival to take swift action against the IPS officer. According to sources, the female traffic constable had filed a complaint against Mahesh Kumar, alleging that he had sexually harassed her. The complaint was taken seriously by the top brass of the police department, leading to Mahesh Kumar's suspension. Tamil Nadu DGP Shankar Jival has ordered the suspension of Mahesh Kumar pending an investigation into the allegations. As part of the investigation, a Visakha committee has been formed under the leadership of DGP Seema Agarwal to probe the allegations against Mahesh Kumar. The Visakha committee is an internal complaints committee that is mandated to investigate complaints of sexual harassment within the police department. The committee's findings will likely determine further action against the suspended Joint Commissioner. In a significant diplomatic move, US President Donald Trump has engaged in separate phone calls with Russia's President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, signaling a potential shift in efforts to end the war. The US President revealed that both leaders expressed a desire for peace, and he has directed top US officials to begin talks aimed at ending the war in Ukraine.
We had a great call.
US President Donald Trump said on Wednesday that he had taken calls with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
And I think we're on the way to getting peace. I think President Putin wants peace, and President Zelensky wants peace, and I want peace. I just want to see people stop getting killed.
Trump in the Kremlin confirmed that the two leaders plan to meet in person. Ukraine demands that Russia withdraw from captured territory and wants NATO membership or equivalent security guarantees to prevent future attacks by Moscow. Also on Wednesday, ministers from France, Britain, Germany, Poland, Italy, Spain, and the European Commission met with Ukraine's foreign minister in Paris. In a joint statement, they agreed that Ukraine should be put in a position of strength and that Ukraine and Europe must be part of any negotiations, adding that the European powers were looking forward to discussing the way ahead with their American allies. The statement was released after that meeting was derailed by comments from US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth that Ukraine cannot expect to return to its pre-2014 borders or join NATO. When Trump was asked by a reporter on Wednesday if he sees Ukraine as, quote, an equal member of this peace process, he said it was an interesting question.
I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace. I said that was not a good war to go into, and I think they have to make peace. That's what I think.
On Friday, Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are set to hold talks about the Ukraine war on the sidelines of a security conference in Munich. Zelensky said he hopes to meet with US representatives at the conference to finalize security and economic agreements.
Trump's call with Putin lasted over an hour, during which they discussed the possibility of a ceasefire. The Kremlin confirmed that Putin and Trump agreed to meet, with Putin inviting Trump to Moscow. Following his call with Putin, Trump spoke with Ukraine's President Zelensky for, again, about an hour. However, Ukraine's demands remain clear. Russia must withdraw from occupied territories, and Kiev seeks NATO membership or equivalent security guarantees to prevent any future aggression. Meanwhile, European powers, including Britain, France, and Germany, emphasized that any peace negotiations must include them. Earlier on Wednesday, US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth delivered a stark assessment of the conflict at a NATO meeting in Brussels. He stated that Ukraine's goals of regaining all its pre-2014 territory and joining NATO are unrealistic and illusionary. In a bid to maintain US support, President Zelensky of Ukraine has proposed a deal for American investment in Ukraine's mineral resources. Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who visited Kiev on Wednesday, suggested that such a deal could serve as a security shield for Ukraine post-war. PM Modi arrived in the United States of America for a two-day visit, his first since US President Donald Trump began his second term in January. Upon his arrival at the Blair House, the president's guest house, where he will be staying, PM Modi received a warm welcome from members of the Indian-American diaspora. Despite freezing temperatures and rain, the community gathered outside, cheering with chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Vande Mataram and Modi Modi, while waving Indian and American flags. Asha Jadeja, a member of the Indian diaspora, said that this is going to be one of the most impactful visits India will ever have with the US. Next up was Prime Minister's meeting with US Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. PM held a meeting with Tulsi Gabbard in Washington, D.C. and discussed many aspects of India-US friendship. He posted pictures of his meeting with Gabbard, calling her a strong votary of India-US friendship. He took to social media platform X and wrote, and I quote, "Met USA's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, in Washington, D.C., congratulated her on her confirmation, discussed various aspects of the India-USA friendship, of which she's always been a strong votary." Modi is set to meet Trump later today for high-stakes discussions on trade, investment, defense, energy, technology, and immigration. He is the fourth world leader hosted by Trump within weeks of his second-term inauguration, following Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, and Jordan's King Abdullah II. PM Modi is likely to meet National Security Advisor of the US, Mike Waltz, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Tesla Motor CEO Elon Musk, and close advisor to the President and politician Vivek Ramaswamy as well.
My interest in Washington, D.C. is, of course, to influence U.S.-India policy. I'm very keen on making sure that we have solid partnerships ratified on ISET, Quad, IMEC, and stuff like that. Now, you just asked me about what I think of the visit here. I think this is going to be one of the most pivotal, one of the most unprecedented, one of the most impactful visits India will ever have with the U.S. And the reason for that is because my understanding right now is that Trump's statements on having a permanent presence in Gaza is just a start, but a permanent presence in the Middle East is a paradigm shift.
In a tragic incident in Munich, a car plowed into a group of people, leaving many injured in the heart of the German city. A large-scale police operation is underway near the central train station as authorities scramble to determine what exactly happened. While police have not yet confirmed whether this was a deliberate act or an accident, German media reports suggested that at least 15 people have been injured. The driver has been secured at the scene, and police say there is no further threat. The timing of this incident is significant. Munich is set to host the high-profile Munich Security Conference tomorrow, with US Vice President J.D. Vance and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky expected to arrive in the city later today. Adding another twist to the story, local reports suggest that those injured may have been participating in a strike. As investigations continue, key questions remain. Was this a tragic accident or an intentional attack? Does it have any connection to the security conference? With security already on high alert ahead of the major diplomatic gathering, this incident has sent shockwaves across Germany. And with that, it's a wrap here from my side. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.